So, now, Brother Lawrence and I would like to offer guided seats before we start the class proper. So, I would like to invite everyone to find a comfortable seating. You can consider sitting cross-legged if you can, and maybe sit at the tip of the cushion underneath you, and perhaps you can sit upright but not overstrain your back, and you may slowly close your eyes. If you'd like to, you can still keep it half open but focus on certain vision point in front of you, and just remember to keep your body relaxed. Take this chance to also give your body a scan and notice where are some of the possible tension areas, especially for friends who might have just come over here from work, like myself, where there are a lot of tension points. So, okay, and I will invite Brother Lawrence to start with by inviting the bell. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. In, out. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Calm, smile. Aware of the suffering brought about by unmindful speech, I breathe in, giving rise to loving thoughts and mindful words. I breathe out, suffering caused by words, loving thoughts and words. feeling compassion for the one I have hurt by my words, I breathe in. Determined to listen deeply and speak mindfully, I breathe out. Compassion, listening deeply, speaking mindfully. Seeing myself practicing the mindfulness trainings with the community, I breathe in. Feeling happiness to be practicing the trainings with the community, I breathe out. Practicing with the community, feeling happiness. Breathing in, I know this is my in breath. Breathing out, I know this is my out breath. In breath, out breath. So, dear friends, may slowly, gently open your eyes. If you'd like to, you can have a gentle massage on your face and on any body parts that you feel like. Thank you again for joining us for the sitting meditation. Now pass on the time to Thay Phap.
Check sound. Oh, okay, very good. Dear Thai, dear Sangha, welcome to the third class of presentation of 5 mindfulness trainings, and thank you very much for being together for this few weeks. And then also thank you very much for those of you who came personally to the Sangha house in Singapore. And then also I would like to address all of our friends from Zoom all around the world, and nice to meet you again. Okay, so maybe I would like to request a co-host, if that possible. There's a empty space in front. If you don't mind, you can come forward. And then if there are friends who come late, they can fill the seat behind. Thank you very much. I think Asian people have one similar habit. They're very afraid of sitting at the first row. Maybe there's something I don't know everywhere. It's in Vietnam or in Thailand or Indonesia, Singapore. I think Malaysia also quite similar. So every time you come to the Sangha house, if we have an event like this, please fill the first row. It is also a kind of a nice, good gesture, because we allow the person who maybe have something else to do, and then when they come late, they can fill the row behind. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the um okay, let's see this one. So we are still on the 5 mindfulness training, and we have covered the first mindfulness training, reverence for life, and the recorded video is available on the YouTube. You're welcome to take a look again. Oh well, I need to turn on my camera. Okay. Okay. And the second mindfulness training related to true happiness. And then the third related to true love last week. And today we will discuss about the loving speech and deep listening. So when you look at the 5 mindfulness training, you will see that it is very connected to the teaching of the Buddha, especially related to the 3 doors. And the Buddha's teaching, sometimes they like to use not sure whether this is a right spot for the whiteboard. Do you think it's okay? Okay. Just want to make sure. You will see that the 5 mindfulness training, let me put it down. Now I learned. So you will see that the Buddha's teachings, usually you will read somewhere that mentioned about body, like related to actions, and then we also related to speech, and then mind. So this is actually they want to talk about karma, the the relationship with the action. So maybe when we say action, probably we think of a body only, but actually it's also related to our speech and mind. Yeah. And then when we talk about the first mindfulness training, you can unshare my. Stop sharing. When you look at the first mindfulness training, maybe we can categorize the first mindfulness training is somewhere here. Yeah, reference for life. Like the traditional one, precepts, the 5 precepts, it say we try our best to restrain ourselves, yeah, from killing. Yeah. And then the second one is the in the Plum Village we call it true happiness, by uh, not taking something that not belong to us. Yeah. Or the traditional one that they say is stealing, still in the body, right? Number 2, correct? And then the third one also related to body, correct? But number 4, call it a loving speech, and deep listening for sure is over here, huh? Right? Number 4, huh? Correct? And number 5, nourishment and healing. I think maybe here, huh? Correct? Body 1, 2, 3, 5, and the speech is number 4. You can see how the body is very important. And then, do you think body more important or speech? Okay, I'll leave it to you to answer. Because you see that the speech or the mouth actually is also part of the body, right? I can say this one is part of the body. But why the Buddha split it into a special one? Because this speech has a very strong power. You say something, you can influence people. You sing. And just now, like when we have a singing meditation, I think it also give you a certain kind of effect. If you sing a rock and roll songs or metal or very disturbing song, I'm sorry, because there are quite a lot of kind of songs now. Maybe jazz, very soothing, or sometimes you also see that inside the lyric also, when you hear the lyric, it also give you certain kind of influence, right? Yeah. So you see that it's being like split by itself from the body. Actually, we can say the speech, it can be a body, right? Yeah, we can say like that. But I think the Buddha also want to emphasize something in the speech. Yeah. And our teachers say when we say something, of course, there's somebody or the sound, the voice, the dialogue, it has to relate it to the listening, right? That's why our teachers say is a loving speech and deep listening. It's a speech and listening, correct? Yeah. And then if we look at these 3 important door, and then we will see that look like the mind has nothing to do with everything, huh? No, the mind has to do with everything. You want to practice the first mindfulness training, the second one, third, fourth, and fifth is all related to our mind. So mindfulness is to train our mind. Yeah. So that is why when the translation become precepts, our teachers say, oh, actually this thing is to train our mind. When you train your mind well, and then actually you don't need the mindfulness training anymore, like the precepts anymore. Yeah. If you train your mind well. Yeah. It's because so it's like the body supporting our mind and then our mind supporting our body because it's an action. But in teaching of the Buddha, actually the mind also we consider as an action. But not sure in the English sense whether thinking is considered as an action. But in the Buddha's teaching, thinking is also an action. Yeah. So this might be there's a little bit a different way how to look at it. Okay, this is just for you to contemplate on the mindfulness training. Okay, now let's go to see what I have here. Which one? Maybe this one. Okay, correct. Now we want to talk about the special one, the only one, number 4. Yeah. You see, number 1, first mindfulness training, second, and the third. Yeah, it's really closely to body. And then let's see the loving speech and deep listening. But before I move on to this, the sharing, and I would like to offer my gratitude to everybody who sent your home assignment, your homework, and it's very nourishing. And I'm very sorry that I only read those who sent your email yesterday. So for those who send your email today, I have not have time to read it, but I will go through one by one to read it closely. But I only read half of it because you already there are friends who already sent by yesterday, Tuesday, and I found out there's a few questions. It's getting more and more people asking questions. I say, sharing, journaling, or you write your personal experience. But when I read the sharing, excuse me, brother, may I ask you more about this one? So, actually, a lot of good questions, and yeah, you see that the 5 mindfulness training is not like you attending the workshop or the sharing presentation by me after I finish all the presentation, then you graduate, not yet. Our teachers say it's a lifelong contemplation, and we learn to study and to practice. That's why in the recitation, you have to do it at least once every 3 months. It say, within the last month or last 2 weeks, have you put an effort to study, yeah, to contemplate, or to meditate or to practice on it? So this is a mindfulness training for us to study, correct, to contemplate, and then to practice. Not just like, for the sake of receiving the mindfulness training or receive a Dharma name or receive a certificate. If you are not diligent in the practice, so that certificate a little bit useless. Yeah. Because we want to really wholeheartedly put our time and energy to study it and to apply it. Why you want to take it? Because you think that it's beautiful and it's suitable, and it can be a north star for you. North star, if you want to go to the north, you follow these directions. Yeah. And okay, let me answer one of the question that I think may be quite interesting from the email, because I think somehow in one of the class I mentioned that I also went to study in the Mahachulalongkorn Raja Vidyalaya University to get my PhD, doctorate degree. But actually, frankly speaking, in Plum Village tradition, all the monks and nuns are not allowed to go to a school or university. So long time ago, when I was in a novice, so there's a one elder brother went up, but that one is the monastic session, because we have a monastic day, and then our teacher Thay, he will give a very special Dharma talk for the monastic only. And then during that day, there's one elder brother. He stood up and asked Thay about this question, whether the Sangha will allow him to go to pursue a master degree on the psychology or something. Yeah, it sounds like good, because if as a monk or nun, we have a deeper understanding about psychology, look like it can help us on the way of leading a retreat or understanding about many things, especially the new subject. But surprisingly, our teachers immediately say no. And then everybody just shocked. Wow. So we listened to him and what the policy. Actually, at that time, I was a little bit disappointed and then feeling like our teacher is discouraged us as a monks and nun to get a degree. But when he continued to share, he said, okay, now you become a monk and nun. Why do you need the degree? Okay, first thing, I think I try to contemplate to myself, yeah, it's also true. If I want to get a degree, why I have to come here to practice? Yeah. Because um, we leave behind our job, our loved one, our family, our title, everything to just to come to plant village to ordain as a monks and nun and put the career of transformation as our highest priority. Then why you have to go to a university to get a bachelor or master or doctorate degree? Wow, so that session is like giving us a very big slap, because a number of us think that they quite number of young monastic when they ordain, they are quite young. So maybe they are still thinking of to go to a university to get a degree. But this is also something that as a monastic myself, I continue to contemplate. But luckily, I already finished my bachelor degree at the time. Yeah. So I know how hard to study in the university and also the master degree. So during my time in Thailand, but I respect the general policy of the monastic order. And then during my time in Thailand, we have a cooperation between Thai Plum Village with Maha Chulalongkorn Rajavidyalaya University is one of the uh, big university in Thailand, and also due to the university that we receive a lot of support. Yeah, so the rector invite the monks and nuns from Thai Plum Village to come to MCU. We call it MCU to study. So so we return home and have a very long discussion. Yeah, because the rector is very nice, He say, okay, you please send a few Dharma teachers to come and to study to get a PhD degree in the university. So we return home, we have a lot of meeting, and finally, so in order to study a PhD, we need a master degree, right? Like a compulsory. So at the end, I said, okay, in order to follow the advice of the rector and the vice rector, that we will send a Dhamma teacher to go to get a PhD, to doctorate degree. So it's scouted one by one. You, no, you, ting, tung, you got me. Oh yeah, you got a master degree already. And then you're a Dhamma teacher. I think you will be the victims to go to a study and the MCU. Not really victim, but it's just kind of assignment from the Sangha to go to study. From deep down of my heart, actually, frankly speaking, I don't really need the PhD degree because because during that time, because I feel a little bit conflict, um, because our teachers make it very clear that as a monastic, we don't go for this degree anymore. Now the Sangha assigned me and another brother from Hong Kong to go to study. So I suffer a little bit because I know how hard to go to a university to study. You have to do the homework. I hope you're not suffer too much because I gave you homework. But it's very easy, right? You don't need to ask AI to do your homework, right? I think, yeah. So a little bit. internal suffering. But because it's assigned by the community Sangha, so I just do it happily. Yeah. Because this is like assignment, Sangha service. Yeah. And then the Chinese say 不辱使命. I don't know how to say it. Like I don't let the Sangha down. I finished the PhD with a very, can say, wonderful. Even though I got stuck 2 years because of COVID. So actually, I can finish within 3 years. At the end, is straight until 5 years. So I finished my PhD degree within 5 years because 2 years the professor refused to do the assessment and then for the consultation. So it's kind of like 2 years. I keep on writing without her approval. But at the end, the professor, she was very nice. She checked, okay, this is good, this is good. So she let me pass quite smoothly. Yeah. So those suffering, not really too bad for me because in the middle I transform a lot because anyway I have to do the Sangha service now. So why don't I just study wholeheartedly and make most of it? Yeah. And then the rector, the vice rector, also very happy. Oh, very good. Yeah. Actually, you have a lot of good Dharma teacher. Yeah. So he's also asking maybe you can send a next batch to study a PhD. But everybody was so scared because when we become a monastic, quite a number of them they don't want to go to study anymore. But please don't ask me why because everybody have their own reason. Yeah. I taste the bitterness of writing a report or a thesis or dissertation. But after some time, I can feel it's very beneficial because when we want to create a curriculum for the monastic program, you cannot just ask somebody to sign. So my names with the PhD actually worth of something. Put my name over there and I signed the paper with my name with the PhD with the brother Phap, something PhD. Okay. And then I also upgrade a lot of way how the monastic arrange our monastic curriculum. Yeah. The teaching system report because long time ago, oh, you make this report is below the standard, I say. Yeah. So we work a lot and revise and send to the university. They are quite happy because there's an improvement. So not too bad, you get a PhD. But mostly I will not tell people I have a PhD because not always needed. But sometimes just to scare people, I think it's okay. Oh, this monk got PhD. But of course, it's not my intention. I think it will work somehow. And then after I graduated from the PhD, and our relationship with the university become better, closer. And then they regularly will invite me to come to the university to teach as a guest lecturer. Yeah. So it's just strengthening our relationship with the university. So mostly, generally speaking, the monastic we don't go to the university to get a degree. So you can get a degree first before you ordain. That's my tips for the person who asked the question. You go to get whatever you want. You want a master degree, you want a bachelor degree, you want a doctorate degree, go to get it first. But of course, to become ordained in Plum Village tradition is also not very easy. Yeah. So we have to observe you, and you also have to observe the community. So there's like two parties agreement. Sometimes you really want to ordain, but the community cannot accept you. Yeah. Or sometimes the community want to accept you, but there's a certain constraint. Like there's, okay, there's an extra story. Huh? There's one time there's a brother, there's a lay practitioner, young, very young one. He want to ordain in our traditions. And then he secretly come to the center, live together with us without telling his mother and father. So after like a few months, he said, okay, this life as a monk seems like very wonderful. So he want to ordain. So and then the community was, oh, this this person very good. Yeah. The community ready to accept him. Then he has no choice. He has to send a message to his mom that, hello mom, I'm ordaining in Plant Village traditions. His mom was very shocked. He's a Vietnamese. Very shocked. Like totally, no way. Because quite a lot of Chinese or Vietnamese, sometimes their parents, for those parents who are have a lot of understanding about Buddha's teaching, probably they will allow. But quite numbers of them, they totally say no. So when the mother received the message, she quietly arrived at the center in Thailand, and nobody know that she is the mother of that aspirant want to be ordained. We talked to her and okay, showing her around, and then you know what happened? Suddenly the mother met her son, and then the son was so shocked. Hey, mom, what are you doing here? And then the brother said, oh, she's your mom. Yeah. So actually, the mom want to secretly come to drag her son back to Vietnam because she will not tell anybody she's the mom, you know. So she want to snatch her son to read. You go back with me to Vietnam. No ordination here. No become a monk. Yeah. So actually, there's quite a drama happening over there. Yeah. And slowly we found out something quite interesting that actually her husband, the aspirant's father, actually his father also have a wish to ordain, but don't know what happened. He married and then have her son, but the wish is still there carrying. Yeah. So I heard the father loved to watch Thai's Dharma talk on the YouTube, but secretly. Because if the father watched the Dharma talk from Thai, the mother will immediately take control of the remote control and turn it off, or else unplug the cable and you can watch. Yeah. But because the father also loved the teaching, you know, loved the Dharma. So somehow we try to make a connection. Maybe this is the wish of the father, you know, and then the son want to continue the wish from the father. But at the end, happy ending, and the mother happily let her son to ordain in our traditions. Okay, there's still a lot of very nice story, and every time when I tell you this story, it's also touched me a lot. Yeah, you can see that very strong wish. Yeah, to of course everybody have their your own path. Yeah, you on this path of lay practitioner, no problem. Transformation also happening, but we want to choose the monastic path, also the transformation happening. Okay, let's go to this the fourth mindfulness training. But would you mind to enjoy together with me? I'm not sure whether if I want to play a song. If I play, everybody can hear. You can try, huh? Okay, maybe turn it off. Everybody hear. Okay. Oh, something got stuck. Okay.
Can I share some?
Share sound.
Alert from Microsoft PowerPoint. Continue to share this PowerPoint window.
We aspire to learn your way of listening in order to help relieve the suffering in the world. You know how to listen in order to understand. Namo Avalokiteshvaraya. We invoke your name in order to practice listening with all our attention and open-heartedness. We will sit and listen without prejudice. We will sit and listen without judging or reacting. We will sit and listen in order to understand. We will sit and listen so attentively to hear what's being said and what's being left unsaid. Just by listening deeply, we already alleviate much pain and suffering in the world.
Okay, thank you very much. I once again without more. So, oh, this is okay. Slower. Okay. You will see that this one of the chanting, one of song from Plum Village is called invoking Avalokiteswara, and then it's really the practice of I think Thay, when he composed, when he wrote this the fourth mindfulness training, I think is really like taken few of the teachings from certain Mahayana sutra that related to the Avalokiteswara. Of course, if you are interested in Avalokiteswara, you can maybe try to find the details. And in our tradition, we call it the Bodhisattva of a great compassion, or sometimes we call it no sound. Huh? I cannot hear myself well. And sometimes we call the Bodhisattva of Avalokiteswara as the Bodhisattva of deep listening. Yeah. So the fourth mindfulness training, I think, also influenced by the Mahayana teaching about Kuan Yin, isn't it? Yeah, Kuan Yin or Avalokiteswara. And like this invoking Avalokiteswara, actually a lot of things we apply in the practice of Plum Village. So I hope you can take time to contemplate on this chanting, and if you like it, probably YouTube or somewhere you will find this song. It's very nice. I like it very much. This is composed by one of our sisters. And the fourth mindfulness trainings is remind us that harmonious relationships, so it's related to a relationship, yeah, are based on loving communications. So we want to communicate in a way that we have a harmony among us. But nowadays, people communicate using a text, or we use phone a lot. So sometimes we have to send message via WeChat or maybe WhatsApp or Line. And then our communication nowadays quite a lot of involved in text, or sometimes audio. Audio is mean like sometimes you can just press the record button and then you say something and then you send your audio to somebody. And the direct communication like this is quite different from when you send text. When you send the text, we miss the tone, miss the voice because it's text. So when you use your eyes to interpret the text people write to you, sometimes it really depend on your mood at that time. If you are very happy, whatever people write to you is become something quite happy. But if you are in a bad mood, and you're not aware of your feelings, and then even the person write in the very good way, but when you read it, you influenced by your own feelings. Yeah. So that's why sometimes quite a lot of misperception happen during this communication. Yeah. So we have to be very aware of this also. So sometimes I have to read the message few times, take a in breath and out breath. Try to read again using a more neutral feelings, read it, and then probably I can feel something else. Oh, why the first time I read it is so different. And now the second time and the third time when I read it again, oh, it's quite different. So it's really depend on your interpretation or your perception on the text. Or sometimes, but nowadays we also have a lot of stickers, send out stickers and smile, and then when you are very happy, you're very joyful, you send a smiley. And then the other person, hey, you try to laugh at me, huh? You are very impolite. So you see this thing quite messy right now. Huh? But all of us, we want to practice in a way that we minimize the the so-called text communication, because nowadays we use a lot. And we also have to be mindful the certain thing that we cannot solve using the text. Sometimes people need write so long, like a few pages. You need to scroll, scroll, scroll. Wow, so long. Or sometimes somebody typing so long. Nothing come out. For example, in the WhatsApp group, and then when you look at your phone, you keep waiting. Oh, this person is typing. I'm waiting for like 2 or 3 minutes, nothing coming out. And then suddenly stop typing, no more. Maybe that person cancel. So before you really send, I would suggest you to read again to make sure that to minimize the wrong interpretation. But of course, you already try your best, and other people misinterpret your text. Yeah, good luck. So there are things that we have to like a face-to-face talking. Want to make it very clear, and because it is a lot of discount there. You using text. Yeah. So this is what our commitment related to the fourth mindfulness training is: a loving communication. Yeah. And then maybe I will leave it to you to contemplate on these two words. Yeah. So I will give you a lot of contemplations, because it's very interesting to see what is the relationship between listen and silent. Yeah. I'll send you the slide, and then later you give me a comment, huh? And then also there's a Chinese character is quite nice when I look at it. Yeah, it inspired me a lot. That when you want to listen, you use ear. But now we try to perceive something, look at the text, the video, sometimes they cut a certain teaching or video only 1 or 2 minutes, but that person missed the whole thing. You have to see the whole context, not the 1 or 2 minutes short video. It can misleading us. Yeah. So you see this word called think. Yeah, you have you say ear somewhere, you is a person, and then the eye somewhere there, undivided attention, and the heart, like wholeheartedly or with your mind to listen. Yeah, it's quite interesting to see. And according to our teacher, sometimes when we attempt to listen to another person, we can hear them because we haven't listened to ourselves. Yeah. So, frankly speaking, when our teachers say listen to ourselves, actually you invest your time. For example, we have our regular practice. Yeah. When I practice sitting meditation, usually I will listen to myself a lot. Yeah. The voice behind my head, what is that? And then even though I want to focus on my breathing, but there's still a lot of dialogues going on. And then at the end, I was talking to myself, hey, please quiet I want to observe my in-breath and out-breath. Why you keep talking? So feeling like there's a two brother factors is talking, or maybe sometimes three. Yeah. One say, okay, I want to do this one, that one's that one. So feeling like so noisy in the head. And then there's a time I feel so many people talking, so noisy. So I just say, observe my in-breath, observe my out-breath. Everybody please silent, I say. So I call myself everybody. Feeling like there's a five brother factor inside my head, talking at the same time and make a lot of noise. There are times that there's a two brother factor, sometimes there's a five brother factor, and then there's sometimes only one brother factors. Yeah, sometimes it's a lot of things happening. So I can see that there's a different side of me by observing the dialogue behind my head. And it will be quite difficult because most of the time I myself also will get carried away by those dialogue, those conversations. Yeah. But there's a moment that when I, like Brother Phap become one with the breathings, it's totally silent. It's like there's a moment of silence. I difficult to explain to you, but I can feel it. That moment very silent and very peaceful. Somehow I can feel the breathings very clearly. My mind's very clear, but not sure. The talking sometimes repress a little bit. Sometimes it just talk a little bit, and then I try to make it in the way that please observe silent, noble silent. Hey, brother Phap, noble silent, please. So I want to understand myself uh, better. Yeah, we from those dialogue, crazy one, like a lot of few of me talking at the same time. Slowly, I'm feeling like I know myself a little bit deeper. But when I understand myself, actually during the time that the brother factor, not many, they call it a doppelganger. I don't know what they call it. You split yourself, you become another self of you, like identically, what do you call it? Twin? Not only twin, maybe triplet or quadruplet. Yeah. And then when you become one, wow, very wonderful. So continue to observe. Especially during the sitting meditation, I really have a lot of time to look at this. And then there are four kinds of wrong speech that our teachers mentioned. Yeah, it's quite clear. Yeah, the first one is the lying. The second one is exaggerating. Yeah, we are very good at exaggerating always. Embellishing the truth. Yeah, like a very small one that you make it very big. I think everybody have this capacity, but when we are more aware of our speech, and then usually the exaggerating somehow not too big, and then the next time maybe not exaggerating, but just as it is the fact like that. You don't need to make it so big. And the third one, speaking in order to cause division. This is also quite dangerous if you're not mindful. Not sure why we want to make people quarrel. We go to over this side to say something, and then go to that side say something, and then this A and B they fight because they trust my words. They trust me. Yeah. Oh, I believe you. That person say something like that, and then I go to the other side. Let's listen to this Sirvin. Do you think it's a police or ambulance? I don't know. Okay, so careful on this one. And then the fourth is insulting or speaking badly about others. Maybe, do you think gossip is also like this? Yeah. So if you say about, talk bad things about somebody without that person there, it's also not very nice because you put some chili on it. You put some pepper, you put a sauce. So the story becomes so different. Yeah. And then there's people who will believe you. Yeah, your new story. Of course, there's a fact inside, but you put a lot of extra ingredient. So please be careful on that also. If you are more mindful, and then we can avoid this kind of thing because it create a lot of problem. And then the Buddha say, if you open your mouth, nothing good, you better shh. See the picture? Don't say anything. Can you do that? But we have a habit now. We love to speak about others people's bad things. Yeah. So it's always good to have mindfulness. I'm so sorry, I really have to quote this quite famous, it's called Rumi, the other side. You know Rumi? You want to know Rumi? Go ahead and find out. I like this quote. It's called, "There is a voice that doesn't use words. It's called listen." Like, I think he's also very wise, and I think he wrote a lot of a poem or something. Very nice one. And let me read, there's a quote from Thay. He said, "I have the impression that many of us are afraid of silence." Do you think you're afraid of silence? I don't know. We are always talking in something, text, music, radio, television, or thoughts to occupy the space. So we think we have that space, then we occupy that space. That's why most of the time we run out of space, feel so heavy. If quiet and space are so important for our happiness, why don't we make more room for them in our lives? Yeah. But it depends, no? There are people who are very introvert, they don't want to talk so much, Of course, this introvert or extrovert is kind of like a old school of a psychology. But the new one, I think they use this MB something something. What do you call it? MB MBTI, correct? MBTI, I guess. Yeah. They say something. There are new theory how this because long time ago I think the psychology divided people into like sanguinis, right? Melancholic. What else? I think there's four. Huh? No. There's a very old school. They say sanguinis, melancholic. What do you call it? Pragmatic. Correct. There's another one. Choleric. Correct. Thank you. Choleric, pragmatic, sanguinis, and what is another one? Yeah, that one. Yeah, but it's also quite interesting to see how the psychologists they try to like put in the category of a certain people based on their behavior or how they behave, right? And now there's a lot of new theory that they put you in the category. If you born on this year, then they say you are baby boomers, right? And then this year to this year you are, I don't know, X, Y, Z or something. And now alpha or beta, I don't know. I read a little bit. I want to acknowledge it a little bit, but most of the part I say we are kind of mixing. Okay, we don't talk about that. Let's skip that one. So when we see someone suffer because of something we said, so sometimes you said something, somebody will suffer. We may be tempted to say, well, I was only telling the truth, right? Have you ever in that situation? I'm just telling you the truth. But the way you telling the truth, someone can be a very unskillful and insensitive. Yeah. So if you're mindful enough, then you know when to say and when not to say. Yeah. So we need to speak in such a way that the hearer can accept what we are saying, even though this is a truth. Because we try to avoid problems. Do you know the Chinese have a saying like this? 病从口入. It means like most of the sickness because of something we put into our mouth and then it go in. It means something we eat. See, nowadays a lot of people have a cancer or something. Probably, huh? Probably it has a lot of contribution from what we eat. Of course, there are people also say maybe contribute from our mind, our stress, frustration, also giving extra contributions to what happened to our body. Yeah, the mind and the food. And then there's another next word is 病从口入，祸从口出。祸 is the mean problems. Chong is the from, ko is the mouth, chu is out. From your mouth out, it means when you say something unmindful, you will cause a lot of problems. So be careful. If you want to make a comments on the social media, if you're not a good comment, you better don't write anything. It is my personal suggestion. You can accept, or if you don't agree with me, it's also fine. Yeah. But people like to fight, yeah, in the social media. So one people comment and then another people comment, and then the news actually is quite short, but the comment is very long. And then the fun part is you read the comment. Sometimes stressed people, they will comment in very strong way, but sometimes funny people, they also comment in a very funny way. So when you read the comment, sometimes it's quite funny, you know. Oh, it's quite... But please be careful, because you're consuming something. So this is a quote from the, even though you want to tell people the truth, you also have to think when to tell them. When, and then in what situation and what kind of language. You just don't just go to that person and tell that person immediately. And then that person was so busy and like, what you talking? Why you keep bugging me? Stop. Shut up. Yeah. So you need to find a right time. Yeah. Right time is very important. Right time, right place, and right sentence. Practice of loving speech. We can practice loving speech in writing. Yeah. So from today, every time you want to write something on your WhatsApp, take an in breath and out breath, and then you write mindfully. And then before you press that button send, you read it once again. But sometimes we have so many messages to reply, you just what your body consciousness, your thumb, your fingers consciousness, and your mind consciousness, sometimes they are not connected. What you want to say, but what you type is totally different. So when you read again, oh, that's not what I meant. So you fix the sentence once again, you know. Sometimes without a comma or without a dot, you make the sentence totally different. Yeah. Many people now communicate by email. Yeah, you send me a lot of email, but I gratitude and thank you. Text messaging or audio messaging more than they do in persons or on the telephone. Yeah, quite a lot. Huh? Do you think it's correct? It's happened like that. Huh? So maybe we need to a new skill of writing message and communicate with the uh, writing. Or, but I found out quite a lot of young people, they are good at sending communicate using a text. So when we meet them directly, it feel like quite difficult for them to speak up. But there are few friends told me that when they communicate via WhatsApp, it feel like very smooth. But when they meet each other, feeling like there's a distance, cannot talk to each other, because we get used to talk to each other using a text message. So it will be one day, maybe you sit in front of me, I sit over here, and then we talk to each other using WhatsApp. It will be a very big tragedy. Yeah. And if you see that in the situation of misunderstanding, you have to have something to apologize for, it's important to be willing to do so straight away. If you have awareness, is more conscious, more mindful, and then you say, oh, I'm so sorry, probably just now my words seem not very appropriate, or my tone is too high. So you can just say sorry immediately, because when you're aware of it, you don't wait. Yeah. And sorry, I really want to quote this one for you just to read only. Yeah. Apologizing doesn't always mean you are wrong. Because sometimes we want to apologize, we always have to check whether he's the one to start the problem. He's the one who made mistake. Why I have to apologize, right? But sometimes we can try to contemplate on this. Apologizing doesn't always mean you are wrong and the other person is right. Okay? It mean you value your relationship or friendship, or maybe relationship or friendship more than your ego, because there's an ego there. But if I really treasure the friendship or relationship, I don't mind even that person started first. I don't mind, because I want to be peaceful again. We become a friends again. Yeah. Right? Can you do that? I hope. Give it a try. Don't really, of course, sometimes we know that this is a troublemaker. He has to apologize, not me. Yeah. I think it's not only in the. Okay, there's a lot of good contemplation for you to take a look. And our teacher, I read it for you. Our teacher, many times, he always suggests us to do the practice of right diligence. The first one is called preventing unwholesome seeds in our store consciousness that have not yet arisen from arising. It means that we don't give a chance for this unwholesome seed to manifest. You know that after you watch this film with a lot of violence, it will water the seed of violence in you. Dare you to press the button stop or close it? This, for example, do you have enough mindfulness to do that? Because we have a lot of seed, violence we have, hatred, jealousy we have. Yeah. But if you listen to somebody say something and it's water the seed of violence or jealousy or hatred in me, do you want to continue? Sometimes in the monastic, we also happen like that. Yeah. In that situation, I will just, if I have enough mindfulness, I will just join my palm and bow and then go. Because quite a lot of unwholesome conversation happening. So if there's an unwholesome conversation or gossip or useless, dare you to go away, to step away. You don't need to continue to be there and then being intoxicated by those conversations. Yeah. The second one called helping the unwholesome seeds that have already arisen to return to our store consciousness. It means that if the unwholesome seeds already manifest in our mind consciousness, we need to use the mindful breathing to embrace it and then help the mental formation to go down again. Yeah. Don't let that seed stay too long in our mind consciousness. Not good. It will create a lot of problems there. So we have to embrace the baby, let the baby cooling down, and then return once again to the store consciousness. Finding ways to water the wholesome seeds in our store consciousness that have not yet arisen and asking our friends to do the same. So this is in plant village, we call it a selective watering. Yeah. I'm not praising you, but I know everybody have a good qualities. When I say something, we encourage people. It's been like I'm watering the good seed in you. A Dharma talk, for example, if you open a YouTube and then you type the name Thich Nhat Hanh about anger, then it will appear the Dharma talk related to the anger. And then when you listen, deep listening, even the talk already being recorded for a long time ago, but the talk has still have the power, capacity to water the seed of goodness in you. Right? You see? So you have to choose your what to consume. Yeah, because out there, YouTube or everywhere, we have a lot of film, short film, movie, a lot of things. The fourth, nourishing the wholesome seed that have already arisen so that they will stay present in our mind consciousness and grow stronger. It means like you already have a joy and happiness in your mind. You keep it as long as possible. We continue to breathe, aware of it. But you also have to aware that our happiness is not always can last forever in our mind consciousness. Yeah. But you try your best to retain the joy, the happiness as long as possible. So this is what I call a good friend to come to visit you. But you need to invite this good friend. But unwholesome friend, you don't need to invite. It will come to visit you regularly. You know what kind of friends that? The anger, frustration, especially trauma. I think trauma is also a friend of yours. And this trauma love to visit you again and again. It causing problem. But I'm not saying this trauma is a bad thing. But we need to, Thay said, we need to invite another energy to come up to accompany, sit next to the trauma. Because maybe the trauma need attention, need somebody to accompany the trauma together. It's like a friend. A good friend sit next to him, using a mindful, compassion, loving kindness energy to accompany our trauma. Yeah. This is called we give rise to compassion. We give rise to mindfulness, and then like sitting there accompany our unwholesome mental formations. We not fight. You go away. I punch you. I kick you. You go away. It means we create another violence to our trauma. Nowadays, quite a lot of people, they don't know what to do. So they try their best maybe to cut, to kill, to kick, to punch, using these mental abusive words or things to kick away our trauma, to kick away our anger, even just anger. Oh, I know, I'm very angry now. Please go away right now, or else I will kick you. I will cut you. I will chop you. So there's a lot of violence there if you don't know what to do. Yeah. So this is a four right diligence is very useful in our daily life. So please try your best to do that. And let me read you. There's a few sentences that's quite nice for us to contemplate. So the four noble truths. The first one is the aware of the suffering. Is a very general one. The second one is caused by unmindful speech and the inability to listen to others. So when just now I say to listen to others, we also have to invest time to listen to ourselves. The third one, I'm committed to cultivating loving speech. Okay, I deliberately, I committed to cultivating loving speech and compassionate listening or deep listening, same thing, in order to relieve suffering and promote reconciliation and peace in myself and among other people in the Sangha also, ethnic and religious groups. Yeah, we have a lot of ethnic conflict, religious groups conflict, and even nations. You witness by yourself how the nation taking side to this country, and then attacks other country. Knowing that words can create happiness and suffering, you see, we have to. That's why the plant village encouraged people to use a loving speech. We want to say the certain thing, but we want to use a sentence, a words, language in a way that people, when they listen, they have a better chance to understand and to accept. Yeah. Number four is the Eighth Noble Path. Yeah. I'm committed to speaking truthfully using words that inspire confidence, joy, and hope. Okay, this is I give underline, very important. When anger is manifesting in me, then we have to practice breathing in, breathing out. In breath, I know anger is in me. Breathing out, anger make me so ugly. Breathing in, I know the anger is still there. Breathing out, I don't know what happened to myself. So there's a breathing in and breathing out, and then we try to embrace, acknowledge, accept, and embrace our anger. Yeah. So the practice of breathing in and breathing out is very important. But over here, our teachers say, when anger is manifesting in me, I'm determined not to speak. Because when you're very angry, your speech becomes so violent. Like a lot of, sometimes people say our words sometimes can even sharper than the sword. You can cut people's heart and then is leaving a very deep scars in other people. Yeah. So this is I myself practice a lot. When I feel like the anger really manifesting in me, I can recognize, I can acknowledge. I try my best not to say anything. I will practice mindful breathing. Okay, this is the very concrete suggestion. I will practice mindful breathing and walking. Walking is very good, you know. You go out, you don't need to say anything. You enjoy your breathing, your steps. After 5 or 10 minutes, you feel calm a little bit. Yeah, it's helping really. In order to recognize and to look deeply into my anger. Because when you are angry, you always blame on others. Your mistake, your problem, not me. Always you, always other people is the cause of our anger. And next, I know that the roots of anger can be found in my wrong perception a lot and lack of understanding of the suffering in myself. See, so understanding the suffering in myself also very, very important. But it depends, do you invest time to look at yourself or not? Yeah. That is why of course, the Sangha house over here, we organize like a day of mindfulness, like once a month. I think we also, over here, we organize a weekly program. This is a very good investment, you know. Maybe you think, oh, why brother keep talking about investment? Investment has to be property or money, US dollar, you know. Okay, this also investment. But this kind of investment is really for the benefit of you. Yeah. How can you understand yourself if you don't invest the time, even just to come here to sit and listen to this brother talking? Right? Yeah. The suffering in myself and the other persons. So, frankly speaking, when I try to understand myself better, and then my understanding about other people also grow deeper. Yeah. Because sometimes I try to understand you, but cannot. Maybe you have not understand yourself deeper. Yeah. So we will see how is the interbeing, the interconnectedness between me and other people, especially the one that you love, you know, your partner, your husband, your wife, your father, your mother, your friends, your sibling, your elder brother or younger sister, or your colleague. I will speak and listen in a way that can help myself and other person to transform suffering and see the way out of difficult situations. So you see, this is very clear saying that the way out is in. I'm determined not to spread news that I do not know to be certain. Even if I certain, I don't want to spread. You know? We are not nowadays. A lot of people act like they are a journalist. Not only journalists. What do you call it? Journalists, broadcaster. Yeah, everybody look like have a new extra profession. It's called broadcaster. I'm somewhere here in the Kalang River. I'm eating this thing, and so you like 记者, what is it called? Journalist, reporter, like somebody using a camera and then with a microphone going somewhere to report what is happening somewhere. You report everywhere, right? On your social media. Mm. and not to utter words that can cause division and discord. If you think that your words can cause division, maybe you stop and don't say. There are many times I can catch those situations. Okay, now it's better for me not to speak anything, because if I speak something, for sure it will be another third or fourth world war. I will practice right diligence. This is just now I share with you the 4 right diligence to nourish my capacity for understanding or insight, love, joy, and inclusiveness, and gradually transform anger, violence, and fear that lie deep in my consciousness. It means the store consciousness. We have the seed of fear. We have the seed of violence. Yeah. Lie deep in our consciousness. So good luck, everybody. And you see, stopping from time to time is very nice. If you can stop your mind regularly, then if you want to say something that very hurtful, probably you will cancel. Okay, no need to say that, because if I say, it will disturb people a lot. Yeah. Or maybe if you still want to say, but you're using a very soft and very polite sentence, polite words to say it out. So it make a very different. So this is the week 3 homework assignment. You can visit the Google Drive. Write a freestyle reflection about the practice of brushing teeth. So I have this documents already uploaded. You go and check there, and you just practice. I think you can print it out. There's a poem, and then every morning before you brush your teeth, you read the poem first, and then you brush your teeth mindfully. Maybe you can start from tonight. Before you go to sleep, you brush your teeth, right? Don't say you don't. Huh? Yeah, dirty. Please do it. Yeah. Okay, I'll give it a try. Huh? And then you just read and then see how it's influenced your mind, and what kind of quality of brushing your teeth. And then you can write a short report on you can send to me either on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. Okay? Now you can send me on that 3 days. You can send me on Monday, but only 3 days, huh? Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Because Wednesday we have our last class. Okay? Short one is okay, because quite a number of people they write. I also very appreciate, because there are people they write, okay, this day, this date. Oh, very nice. And then what happened? And then if you want to write a longer one, it's okay. If you want to write a short experience of this 1 week of practicing the gatha, the poem, also very okay. Why I choose this one? Because stop. Let me show you. Huh? Oh, I turned it off already. Because in the okay, this one. Let me read you. Huh? The gatha like this. Eh, not here. Ah, sorry. Let me open this one. So the gatha like this: brushing my teeth and rinsing my mouth. Yeah, you take a in breath. Huh? And then out breath, I vow to use truthful and loving speech. There's a loving speech there. And then breathing in, when my mouth is fragrant with right speech. Yeah. Breathing out, a flower blooms in the garden of my heart. So it's quite nice. So somehow it will water the seed of loving speech, use a truthful speech, right speech, and then a flower blooms in the garden of my heart. So actually, frankly speaking, those we have a lot of gatha or poems. You can choose to practice which one. But for this week, this only one. And then see how this gatha influence you within this 1 week. But if you think that this practice is good to you, you can continue to practice. Not limited by this week only. But this week is specialized. Because I want you to give it a try and see what happened to you. Because there are a lot of things. It's useless for me to say too many things. But if you experience it, and then you try it by yourself, and you see how it benefit you, and then maybe it will inspire you to continue to practice. Yeah. Or if the practice in the Sangha, a weekly program or monthly day of mindfulness benefit you, you don't need people to force you to come, but you want to come by yourself. Right? Yeah. Okay. Huh? So please allow me to just once again to listen to that song that I like it very much. And let's enjoy it one more time. Oh wait, I have to shift. But the voice is somehow, but it's okay. I'll, can, huh? Can or not?
Alert from Microsoft PowerPoint. Continue to share this PowerPoint window.
We invoke your name, Avalokiteshvara. We aspire to learn your way of listening in order to help relieve the suffering in the world. You know how to listen in order to understand. Namo Avalokiteshvaraya. We invoke your name in order to practice listening with all our attention and open-heartedness. We will sit and listen without prejudice. We will sit and listen without judging or reacting. We will sit and listen in order to understand. We will sit and listen so attentively to hear what's being said and what's being left unsaid. Just by listening deeply, we already alleviate much pain and suffering in the world. Namo Avalokiteshvaraya. Namo Avalokiteshvaraya. Namo Avalokiteshvaraya.
Thank you very much. Let's listen to three sounds of the bell. And if you remember the gatha, you can recite inside of your heart. Listen, listen. This wonderful sound brings me back to my true home. We listen to the bell 3 times. Thank you very much. Maybe one or two questions we'll can do. One or two questions.
Zhuhai Baoyin, dear Thay, dear Sangha, thanks for another very engaging and nourishing lesson. Can you hear me? Okay. My question is about practicing right diligence. I work in an environment where gossip is very prevalent and even actively encouraged, including by my manager. And it's a very open space. My office is in a very open space, and it feels like sometimes there's no escaping this sort of environment. And I feel like if I don't participate or sometimes I want to stand and walk away, but it seems very obvious, and I don't want to be seen as to be excluded from the group. And so what is how should I try to water the wholesome seeds and try to return the unwholesome seeds to my store consciousness. So this is something that I grapple with quite often. Like on the one hand, I feel like I want to indulge in gossip. On the other, I feel bad about doing so. So thank you.
Well, thank you very much for your very honest questions. I try to imagine myself sitting or maybe standing over there and listening to the gossip. What will I do? But maybe there are a few questions you can ask yourself first. Even though maybe you say your manager encouraged you to like involve in the gossip, but you will maybe need to check again whether it's beneficial or not. And then you slowly make your own decisions whether that maybe the first step you can do is try to reduce first. There are times you can choose to, okay, I'm going to out from here, but the other you're also in, because you don't want to do it in the way very extreme, like suddenly say, I'm committed to this mindfulness training, I don't want to gossip anymore. It will become a very shock for other people. So see whether you can reduce it a little bit by little bit. And then, because mostly gossip is just a gossip, it's like a trash piling up into your store consciousness, and mostly will make you run out of space in your heart, and then it make your mind work so hard to digest, try to, they call it try to speculate, try to perceive in the way that a lot of imagination there. Yeah, this is from my perspective. And then if there's a certain time that you choose to stay there to listen to their gossip, can you practice silent? Okay, silent in the means that I take an in breath and take an out breath. Maybe there's no choice, I escape from this gossip, but I want to listen in a way that it will not cause a lot of disturbance to my mind. Like what the song just now, you're being very present, and even probably you can give right to compassions. give a compassion to other people, saying that, oh, too bad this person keep talking about this bad thing, but at least I don't involve in the exaggerating or this gossip is like you put a little bit oil and then somebody put the fire and then put a little bit hay and so the fire becomes so big and then it's burned everybody. So I would like to encourage you to practice noble silence, see whether it's possible or not. You give it a try. Really, huh? Because by not really involving or speaking, if you speak and then it will be like you're putting a oil, putting the fire and then become bigger and see what happened to you. Yeah. So this is can give it a try, huh? And then see how much you can reduce yourself from not participate in those gossip. At least you have more awareness now. Want to escape totally? Look like not possible. Let's try to reduce to a certain amount that you feel still okay. Yeah. But do it slowly, not so extreme, because people will maybe stay away from you. They say, oh, this friend is look like crazy already, a cuckoo or something. We enjoy so much this gossip, but she just walk away. And then you also can try another try that challenge yourself from time to time. You practice to walk away from a certain time and see what will happen to them and what happened to you. Because I cannot really guarantee, because I'm not in the working environment of your company, so I cannot really be sure. So there's a few suggestions you can give it a try. But of course, from my personal perspective, those gossip usually is like a toxin. You don't want to consume those toxin. We call it gossip. There's a lot of uncertainty there. And then there's a lot of personal story exaggerating. And yeah, I can call it a trash. Luckily, if you can recycle those trash, but if it's somehow stuck in your mind and then nighttime you go to sleep and then it appear in your dream, you see how disturbing those conversations. So you make your own decision. But there are few steps you can give it a try and see which one is more beneficial. Yeah. But if you think that is too, but I also not very sure how important the gossip. And if there's too difficult, sometimes you can take into consideration whether to change your work environment. Yeah. Or maybe it's too difficult because sometimes nowadays you find a good job, high pay salary, good job. Sometimes not too easy. Changing job sometimes also take time so. But this is more difficult and challenging. But of course how to say, make your personal judgment and see to which extent you can do. Give it a try. Yeah. From my personal experience, I think like that. Give it a try. Huh? Good luck. Huh? Okay, maybe one more question. Huh? Thank you very much. Huh?
Can I ask on the Zoom?
Yes, please.
Hello. Thank you for this Dharma talk. I feel like I have made many, many mistakes around my speech, both in terms of gossiping, exaggerating, being really harsh, actually all of the above, every single one, very, very, very unmindful. I think that this one has actually been a place that I have struggled very deeply for a very long time. And I think that the things that you say around like the trauma still being present, the anger still being present, not listening internally, I think all of that is very true. I today how I felt is the bitter medicine. Even though I feel very scolded, I feel like, oh, this bitter medicine is actually very good for me, because I need it in order to like actually be able to feel the ground. And I think the place where I feel like I really struggle the most is, well, okay, maybe a lot of places, but I would say the most struggle that I want to fix first is in my workplace setting, because before I moved to China, I was also teaching, but the culture around teaching was really, really different. And the culture around teaching, we mostly just, as long as the kids are happy drawing, it's enough. We don't really care that much that they draw well. We don't really care about all these other things. But then in my job now, there's a lot of requirements. The kids need to be able to draw well. There's just like so much pressure that is put on the children. And so I feel like I am constantly seeing the way other teachers are teaching. And I feel like when I first came into this job, I was very soft. And then later, I really learn a lot from the other teachers and I become more harsh too. And I don't know how to like preserve the like right kind of balance between being able to like say, actually, this behavior is not correct, and also being soft enough that like, we're not leaving any like scars on the children. Yeah.
What is your question? Like one sentence?
Um, how to balance the bitter medicine with the sugar.
Okay.
Or the ways to deliver the medicine more better. Or because I think I really struggle with, sometimes I don't speak up actually. Also, I have that one too, where I feel like I really do need to say something. And then because I don't have a lot of practice saying something, and so then when I do say something, then it comes out really not that skillful.
I see. So first of all, when we talk about loving speech and deep listening, usually we want to see who is the person we are talking to. If you talk to your students, maybe a little bit different. If you talk to your colleague, also with a different treatment. If you talk to the principal or the headmaster, also a bit different. Yeah. So it's a little bit complicated to share without a concrete example. If you have a concrete example, then it might be a little bit easier because it's too wide. And then related to the bitter and the sweet, we cannot really say where is the balance measurement. If we are mindful enough, and then we will know how much the sugar, the sweetness come into our body or our mind. Yeah, that's why the fifth mindfulness training, the next week one, should be maybe can help more because everything is related. The first, second, third, and the fourth, they are kind of one. Yeah. And then by practicing one, you are practicing all. Yeah. And then the fifth mindfulness training actually is related to the consumptions. Yeah. And then we talk about conversation is also a consumption because you listen to a certain conversation or talk or music, a movie or film. Yeah. And then the more you have the energy of mindfulness, and then I think you can navigate when to who the person you talk to and what kind of sentence you want to say to them. I think it's a little bit difficult for me to share. Yeah. If you want to have a more detail, maybe you can send me an email. I can take time to contemplate and then share with you. because I think your question is a little bit too general. If I continue to share, it will going nowhere. Yeah, I'm so sorry for this. You can send me an email with a concrete example. Then we can go from that example. Yeah, because I think it's quite a lot of cases, case by case, case number A or B or C, Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. And I hope you benefit from the class and the teaching today. And I'll see you next week. Okay? Thank you very much. Let's listen to one sound of the bell. Let's breathe together. Thank you very much. Any announcement? No? Any announcement? No? Okay, see you next week. Next Wednesday night. With the small sound of the bell, you can unfold your leg and offer yourself a massage.
Let us all stand and bow to our teacher and give thanks. Sit in front and give thanks to our spiritual ancestors, land ancestors, and blood ancestors.
Good night. Bye-bye.